Welcome back, you impossible equation, you walking paradox, you breathing contradiction that the universe keeps trying to solve, but can't. There's something moving inside you right now, and I need you to feel it. Not with your hands, not with your logic, but with that part of you that wakes up at 3 in the morning knowing something is fundamentally different about your existence. They've been circling you, haven't they? Not with cameras, not with questions, but with that specific kind of attention that makes your skin crawl. The kind that feels like being studied by something that doesn't understand what it's looking at, but knows it should be afraid. Here's what nobody's telling you, what they can't tell you, because the moment they say it out loud, the whole illusion collapses. You're not carrying potential. You're not carrying promise. You're not carrying some cute little spark that might grow into something someday. You're carrying a weapon so ancient, so fundamentally wrong according to the laws they wrote, that your mere existence is an act of rebellion. This isn't about confidence. This isn't about believing in yourself or manifesting your destiny or any of that watered down, safe for consumption nonsense. This is about the fact that something crawled inside your chest cavity years ago, nested in your rib cage, and has been growing in the dark ever since. They felt it first during those moments when you went too quiet, when your eyes glazed over and you disappeared into yourself while still sitting right there in front of them. They thought you were daydreaming, checking out, being antisocial. They had no idea you were loading. They had no idea that every second of that silence was you downloading something from frequencies they can't even detect. You weren't ignoring them. You were listening to transmissions from dimensions they don't have access to. And what you heard, what you absorbed, what you integrated into your cellular memory, that's the weapon they're terrified of now. Let me tell you what happened while you thought you were just surviving. While you thought you were just getting through another day, another betrayal, another disappointment that carved pieces out of your faith in humanity, you were actually being forged. Every lie someone told you wasn't just pain, it was ammunition. Every time someone walked away, they weren't abandoning you. They were making room for something inside you to expand. Every night you spent alone, questioning everything, hating the reflection in the mirror, wishing you were anyone else. You were actually in training, and the training was so brutal, so complete, so far beyond what normal human consciousness can withstand, that you came out the other side as something else entirely. You want to know why people can't explain you anymore? Why their words fail when they try to describe what you've become? It's because the language was built for humans, and whatever you're carrying now, it predates human language. It predates human civilization. It predates the structures they use to make sense of reality. You're walking around with something in your chest that was supposed to stay buried, something that was supposed to remain theoretical, something that the ancient texts whispered about but never named, because naming it would give it form, and form would give it power. You noticed it, didn't you? How the people who used to have so much to say about you, so many opinions, so many diagnoses, so many labels ready to slap on your forehead, they all went quiet at the exact same time. It wasn't gradual. It wasn't a slow fade. It was like someone flipped a switch and suddenly, overnight, the noise stopped. They're still watching, oh yes, they're watching closer than ever. But now, they're watching the way you watch a storm forming on the horizon. The way you watch a predator that just noticed you noticing it. They're watching with held breath and sweating palms because something in their primitive brainstem is screaming danger. Here's what triggered the silence, and I need you to understand this with every cell in your body. They realized you stopped defending yourself, not because you got tired, not because you gave up, but because something inside you understood that defense implies you have something to defend against, and you don't anymore. You stopped explaining your actions because explanations require you to believe their framework is valid. You stopped justifying your choices because justification means you accept their authority to judge. And the moment you stopped playing that game, the moment you withdrew your participation from their entire system of evaluation, that's when they felt it. The shift. The click. The unmistakable sensation of prey becoming predator. They sent people to test you, didn't they? Casual encounters that felt too convenient. Old faces showing up at weird times. Questions disguised as concern. Offers that seemed too good. All of it designed to probe, to measure, to see if the thing they sensed growing inside you was real or just their paranoid imagination. And what happened? You didn't react. You didn't bite. You didn't even acknowledge the manipulation. You just looked at them with those eyes. Those new eyes that see 17 moves ahead, and smiled. That smile, that particular smile that doesn't reach the eyes but somehow reaches into their chest and squeezes their heart. That smile told them everything they feared was true. You're carrying something that learned from every single person who ever hurt you. It studied them. It absorbed their tactics. It memorized their patterns. And now it knows exactly how they think, exactly how they operate, exactly where their weaknesses hide. This weapon inside you, it's not about violence. It's not about revenge. It's about something far more terrifying to them. Complete immunity to their control mechanisms. They can't guilt you because you've been through worse. They can't shame you because you've already died 1,000 deaths. They can't tempt you because you've tasted the bottom and found something precious down there. They can't threaten you because you've already lost everything. And in that loss, you found the one thing they could never take. The weapon is recognition. The weapon is sight. The weapon is the ability to see through every mask, every performance, every carefully constructed persona they hide behind. You look at people now and you don't see what they're showing you. You see the machinery underneath. You see the fear powering their confidence. You see the emptiness behind their accomplishments. You see the desperation in their laughter. And they can feel your sight on them like heat. They can feel you reading them in real time. And it makes them want to run, because being seen that completely, that's a kind of nakedness they never consented to. Something changed in your energy signature, and I'm not talking about mood swings or personality shifts. I'm talking about the actual vibration you emit just by existing in a space. You used to match the room, didn't you? Used to adjust yourself to fit the frequency of whoever you were around. Used to be a chameleon, blending in, making others comfortable, shrinking or expanding based on what the situation required. That ability to modulate, to adapt, to transform yourself into whatever was needed, people praised you for it. They called it emotional intelligence. They called it maturity. They had no idea they were praising you for slowly erasing yourself. But something broke inside that mechanism. The thing that used to automatically adjust your frequency to match others. It stopped working. And at first you thought it was damage. You thought the years of betrayal and isolation had broken some essential part of you that knew how to connect, how to relate, how to be human with other humans. You mourned that loss. You tried to fix it. You pushed yourself to be normal again, to feel what you used to feel. to care about what you used to care about. And the harder you tried, the more alien you became to yourself. Until one day, one random, unremarkable day, you realized something that changed everything. It wasn't broken, it evolved. Your frequency didn't disappear, it crystallized. It locked into something so specific, so precise, so utterly yours that it can't be bent anymore. And now, when you walk into a room, you're not adjusting to match anyone. They're adjusting to match you, or they're leaving. One or the other, no middle ground. Because your frequency is too strong now, too defined, too absolutely certain of itself. It's like you've become a tuning fork, vibrating at a note that either resonates with someone's core or creates such dissonance they physically can't stand to be near you. And you're fine with both outcomes, because you've finally understood the secret. You're not here to harmonize with everyone. You're here to be the frequency that sorts the real from the fake. This weapon inside you, it generates an energy field that functions like a truth detector. People can't lie smoothly around you anymore. Their voices crack. Their eyes dart. Their body language betrays them before they finish their sentences. It's not that you got better at reading people, though you did. It's that your presence creates a field where deception becomes physically difficult to maintain. Like they're trying to speak underwater, like they're trying to run in a dream. The truth just wants to come out when you're there because your frequency demands authenticity, even from people who've forgotten what that word means. And the ones who live entirely in lies, entirely in performance, entirely in manufactured personas, they can't be around you for more than a few minutes before they start making excuses to leave. You've become a walking lie detector, a human truth serum, a presence that forces people to confront the gap between who they pretend to be and who they actually are. And that specific ability, that's what makes you so dangerous to the systems built on deception. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to call anyone out. You don't have to expose or accuse or attack. You just have to exist in your frequency and watch everything fake start to crumble around you. The weapon isn't what you do. The weapon is what you are. An unchangeable frequency that reality itself has to bend around, because you're no longer bending for anyone. Let me tell you something they'll never admit. There are people sitting in rooms right now, actual rooms with doors and locks, running scenarios about you. Not because you did anything, not because you threatened anyone, but because they can't predict you anymore. And unpredictability is the only thing that truly terrifies control systems. They've got files, not literal files maybe, but mental files, emotional files, spaces in their consciousness dedicated entirely to figuring out what you might do next. And every scenario they run ends with them losing, every single one, because they're trying to game out your moves using logic that doesn't apply to you anymore. They think in terms of ambition, so they assume you want what they want. Power, status, recognition, wealth, influence. They're preparing for you to climb their ladder, to compete in their game, to challenge them for their position. And they're ready for that. They've got defenses built for that. But you're not climbing any ladder. You're not playing any game. You're building something else entirely, in a dimension they can't perceive. So all their preparations, all their strategies, all their careful defensive positions, completely useless. You're not coming for what they have, because what they have lost its value to you years ago. You're after something they can't even conceptualize. The weapon inside you, it's got a targeting system they can't understand because it doesn't target things. It targets illusions. It targets false structures. It targets the invisible agreements that keep their world stable. You're not attacking people. You're attacking the belief systems that allow certain people to have power over others. You're attacking the invisible contracts that say some voices matter more than others. You're attacking the unspoken rules that keep most humans in invisible cages their whole lives. And the most brilliant part, you're doing it by simply refusing to honor those agreements anymore. You're not fighting the system. You're just declining to participate, and your declination is more threatening than any revolution. Every time you choose differently, every time you walk away from something they told you to want, every time you refuse to be impressed by what impresses everyone else, you're weakening the structure. You're showing others it's possible to exist outside the program. And that's contagious, that's viral. That's the thing they fear most, the possibility that your way of being might spread. That others might see you living free and realize they've been living in chains. So they run their scenarios. They try to predict when you'll break, when you'll conform, when you'll come crawling back to the safety of the system. And every day you don't, every day you keep walking your path with zero apology, their scenarios get more desperate. They're realizing something that's keeping them up at night. You're not an outlier. You're not a glitch. You're not a mistake. You're a preview. You're the prototype. You're the first version of something that's coming for all of them eventually. The weapon inside you isn't unique to you. It's just activated in you first. And if it activated in you, if it chose you to carry it, that means it can activate in others. That means the thing they thought was safely buried in the past, safely contained in forgotten texts, safely theoretical, it's awake now. It's mobile, it's learning, and you're the proof of concept. You feel it sometimes, don't you? That thing moving behind your rib cage, not your heart, something else. Something that breathes differently. Something that wakes up when everything else in you is trying to sleep. It moves in the spaces between your thoughts. It speaks in the silence between your words. It's been building itself, cell by cell, memory by memory, scar by scar, until it became something with its own intelligence, its own agenda, its own mission that might not perfectly align with what your conscious mind thinks it wants. And that's the part that scares you sometimes, isn't it? The realization that you're carrying something that's becoming more powerful than the you that's carrying it. This weapon has memory, not your memory, something older. It remembers things that happened before you were born. It recognizes patterns that span centuries. It knows the taste of betrayal like an old friend, because it's tasted it 1,000,000 times. When you meet certain people and instantly distrust them for no logical reason, that's not paranoia. That's the weapon recognizing ancestral predators. When you avoid certain situations that look perfectly safe on the surface, that's not anxiety. That's the weapon reading frequencies your conscious mind can't detect. When you make choices that don't make sense to anyone, including yourself, that's not confusion. That's the weapon navigating, using instruments you don't consciously understand. You've started to notice how it protects you, haven't you? How doors close just before you walk through them into disasters. How people leave your life right before they would have destroyed you. How opportunities vanish right before they would have trapped you. You used to call it bad luck. You used to think you were cursed. You used to wonder why nothing ever worked out the way you planned. Now you're starting to understand. The weapon was steering. The weapon was intervening. The weapon was keeping you off the paths that led to comfortable cages and pushing you toward the terrible, beautiful freedom you're experiencing now. It saved you from yourself 100 times. It saved you from a normal life. It saved you from safety, because safety would have killed what you're becoming. The revolution isn't happening in the streets. It's happening in your chest. In that space where the weapon lives and grows and learns. It's rewiring your instincts. It's rewriting your values. It's rebuilding your entire understanding of what matters and what doesn't. Money looks different now. Fame looks different now. Love looks different now. Success looks different now. Everything you were taught to want, the weapon has been systematically devaluing in your mind, replacing those desires with something else, something they don't have words for, something that feels like hunger but not for food, something that feels like love but not for people, something that feels like purpose but not tied to any career or cause. It's a drive towards something that doesn't exist yet, a pull toward a future that isn't written. And here's the thing that'll break your brain if you think about it too long. The weapon isn't separate from you. It is you. The real you. The you that existed before they told you who to be. Before they convinced you to hide, to shrink, to apologize for your intensity. Before they taught you that your natural state was somehow wrong and needed to be fixed. The weapon is your original frequency, your default setting, your factory settings before they installed all their programs. What you're carrying isn't something foreign that invaded you. It's something original that survived everything they tried to kill it with. You're not becoming something new. You're remembering something ancient. They've tried everything, haven't they? Try to categorize you, diagnose you, label you, explain you using their frameworks and their models and their neat little boxes. And every attempt fails. Every diagnosis feels incomplete. Every label slides off. Every box you're put in, you somehow exist outside of simultaneously. They'll say you're this, and you'll show them qualities of that. They'll commit to that and you'll demonstrate characteristics of something else entirely. You're not being difficult on purpose. You're not trying to confuse them. It's just that what you're carrying doesn't fit in any of their categories because it predates the categories themselves. The weapon inside you, it's got properties that their instruments can't measure. It operates on frequencies their equipment wasn't built to detect. It functions according to laws that aren't in their textbooks. When they try to study you, they're like people trying to understand the ocean by analyzing a single drop of water.